You crazy mother.
I decided to reach out to everybody on Snapchat to get this project going for B-movie posters that my students are gonna do for next project. So I'm trying to incorporate all the things. I got some of that going on. We did it. The class is over, and oh my gosh, I have learned so much. So much. Something I'll start off by saying, and this is true in so many different areas. For example, everyone should have to work in retail to know how to not be a total buffoon in a store and stick gum in clothes and unfold every shirt, even though they all look the same. When you work in retail, it's like when you walk into a store, you're like, ooh, don't want to unfold these things, don't want to do this and that, and it's like you have this whole new etiquette when you go into a place like this, and boy, oh boy, do I feel that exact same way being able to teach a class. I appreciate teachers so much more because there is just this huge spectrum of problem solving that's happening every class that you have, because there's a different dynamic of the class, there's a different dynamic of students, there's a different dynamic of projects and time and season, and if your class is at 8 in the morning or if it's at 6 p.m. and there's all these different things, and dealing with those and adapting and evolving with those, what a great skill to start learning. Our final class was today. It was a critique on a big project. I also wanted students to critique me and tell me one thing that I could work on or improve on for next semester, and here it was, hidden behind the back of a student. A marshmallow dagger, which was so sweet, but still got a little jab in there, and and I love it so much still though. Like, what a great thing to hear. They said, your class was too fun, and I wanted to learn more, kind of in a traditional sense of like more presentations, more homework, more readings, things like that. And I just was like standing there and thinking, who would have thought that I was gonna get to teach a class and somebody was gonna say it was too much fun? Like, I will take that with me forever. Because that is, what? That's such a cool thing. But I do totally understand that I should implement some more kind of traditional teaching methods, because I feel like I was pretty experimental as far as how much we were using digital stuff that no one ever really did before. And a lot of these projects were adaptations of the original syllabus. So there was just a lot of new stuff happening, and I've never done it before. So I was learning and growing with the class. And I had to kind of have this face on where I was like, I know what I'm doing, but every day afterwards I was like rewriting something, or when I was typing up a project sheet, I was like, oh, I hope this works. Like, this is my one shot. Back to the retail example, I think that each student should have to present a project to teach to a class, so they understand all of the little things that you don't consider. Like, some people are on their phones or like really far away from everyone else in the room, and you have to get everybody to listen to what you're talking about. Or if people don't show up for 2 classes, they miss out on 6 hours of learning things. And that's just, they almost miss a whole project. And there are so many different things to think about. Another thing that we talked about last week was about not feeling a project. You know, you're not excited to do a project or whatever the case is, and somebody across the room was like, sometimes you gotta suck it up and do the work, which, if that's definitely a way to get it done, but I don't full-heartedly believe in that. I think that any project you do, you can find this little piece about it where you're like, I really like this, and I'm going to kind of bend the rules and manipulate that piece that I love so much so I can get invested and involved and passionate about it, because that shows off in your work so much. So I don't think it's as much like suck it up and do it. It's like, hey, here's something in my life. Here's an end point that I want to eventually hit, and I need to do this. How am I going to get passionate about this? And if you can't get passionate about this, then you got to think about, what is your end goal? Like, what's the plan if you can't get passionate about this? So there are a lot of things where I'm having a lot of self-reflection after teaching this class, and it's such a good thing. That wraps it up. We had some really good times in class, and that's like such a cheesy thing, like go on a sign a yearbook and say hags. But really, this was my class, and this was my first class I've ever taught, and I feel attached to them. Like, this is a memory that I will have forever. And these were the students that created that memory. And that is such a cool thing. And if you're watching this and you were in my class, I appreciate you being a part of that so much. On that note, if you were in my class, freaking watch some other weird stuff that I've done on the internet. Because now it's not as weird. Because if you see me dancing around in a watermelon costume, it'll mean something different, because you don't have to turn something into me to get a grade for the university, because I am in control of your grade. I will see you next Tuesday. If you're a serial killer and you're going to CVS to get your pictures developed.
I didn't say they were smart serial killers.